Well, hello, everyone. This is Laureen from CCO. I'm sad to report that Alicia is sick tonight, so you just get me. And I just put a message up inviting people to come join me on stage. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that are waiting to come on. I've never done this before, so we're going to try something new. The topics that we had ready for tonight were, let me show you real quick our little slide here. There we go. This is our October 2025 CCO podcast. The reason we call it a podcast is we actually do have a podcast. So we try and make this one not really need much visual aids, just us talking about lighter topics, more career-oriented advice, that sort of thing. So tonight we had on the agenda to talk about medical billing and coding as a career. We've talked about this many times in the past, but it's been a long time since we've done it. So I thought we would just have a fresh discussion. And then Alicia was going to present on what is HCC coding and understanding risk adjustment, because she's the queen of risk adjustment. So we're going to not cover that one tonight. We'll save that for next month. But tonight we'll talk about medical billing and coding as a career. And it's going to turn into an Ask Me Anything session, or we'll just see how it goes with who we bring on stage. So I'm going to dispense with using any handouts. So it's just going to be us talking. And of course, if you have any questions and you're too shy to come on stage, then go ahead and just post your questions in the chat. And then we'll bring people on one by one, and you can ask questions of the people that come on stage as well. So let's see. Let me repost that link. Some people are saying they're getting an error. I think I can have up to 25 people in here, to be honest. So I'm copying that. I'll send this back out. So if you want to join, feel free. Now you don't have to turn your camera on, but I'm going to start with, let's see. I'm going to add Timothy. I'm going to bring you up first. Let's see how this works. Hi, Timothy.
Hello.
There you are. How are you?
I'm doing well. Just tired. Been a very busy week.
I hear you. You're doing a lot of homework.
Homework. I have not. I have not done that yet. This week's been. I have
busy in other ways. I see.
Yes.
Why don't you tell the audience what course you're doing with CCO?
I am doing the risk adjustment course, and also I'm doing medical terminology as well.
Very good. So you've had quite the journey.
Yes, I'm on module 3 or chapter 3 of the risk adjustment.
Because you just enrolled a month ago, right?
I think so. Has it already been a month?
I don't know. It feels about a month, but yeah. So at CCO, when we have new students, we do a welcome call. And so I got to do the welcome call with Timothy. And actually, I talked to Timothy prior to the welcome call. So we were able to get him going in the risk adjustment course. And I recommended that to you because it was you only needed one manual. You could focus on one code set, the diagnostic code set, ICD-10. How are you liking the diagnostic codes?
Right now I'm in a kind of a standstill because I'm still waiting on my manual to show up. It hasn't been shipped out yet.
Okay.
It was due to be released on the 30th, and as of today, Amazon says it has not shipped yet.
Okay.
So that's kind of got me at a standstill with the whole course. It's kind of like throw a wrench in my course.
You could do your medical terminology though.
I am. Matter of fact, I just took my exam, chapter 1, passed it, and so I'm on to chapter 2 now.
Very good. Well, I wanted to start with you, Timothy, because I knew your name. The rest of the names, I think I know Alicia F. So what I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to try and bring everybody on and see it. It should be like a Zoom, I'm hoping. So let's see how we do. So let's see, Katerina, I'm going to add you to the stage. And then Alicia. Alicia F. needs to fix her microphone, it says. Hi, Katerina. And we got Rosalind and Jamise. I think I got everyone. So Alicia, I want to bring you in, but it says you have to have your microphone fixed. So you can go down on the bottom where the little microphone is. There's a little up arrow. So hi, Jamise.
Hi. How are you doing?
Good.
Good.
Thank you guys for doing this. I thought maybe I'd get one person, but we have a great audience. You guys are great. So let's start with you, Katerina. How are you doing? How do you know CCO? Do you have any questions? Are you?
So I actually saw you guys on LinkedIn at first, so I started following you there, and I've been trying to pass my CRC unsuccessfully, unfortunately.
You took the exam already?
Twice.
Okay.
Getting closer each time.
Third time's a charm.
I'm hoping really, really hard. But I have no like coding background. It was basically, I received a promotion at work, and I work for Optum, but it's not coding. It's
okay.
I'm a manager, but I manage a staff of people that go out to practices, doctors' offices, and they collect chart notes and they close like risk and quality gaps. So my VP said, why don't you try the CRC, and then you'll be better equipped to answer any coding questions. It's not it's not like if I don't pass this exam, like I lose my job or anything like that. I just thought it'd be like nice to have the certification and the knowledge. But as I'm getting older, my memory just, every time I go into, I think I'm prepared. And every time I go into the test, I'm reading these questions like, did I learn anything? I just get stumped.
I have a few things to share related to that. We do this thing called a retake call. If we have students who've taken our full course, have done the blitz, they've done everything, they're like, I didn't pass. So I'll do a retake call, and we'll go through the CCO proven process. Alicia and I went over that last month, I think. So if you want to go back and look at that previous video, but the proven process is basically take a good coding course, do a review blitz or a boot camp, do timed practice exams until you're scoring over an 85%, then take the real exam. And normally when I do a retake call and I start talking to people, they normally did a course, but they didn't do the practice exams. And that for people that do it, almost guaranteed for them to pass on the real exam. So did you get to try any practice exams before you took the real one?
Yeah. So I got the self like paced one through AAPC. Is that what it is? And I like purchased the practice exams. And I did well with those.
But they weren't timed?
They were timed.
Okay.
They were timed. But I at least had a passing grade. So then I was like, okay. So yeah, so I just feel so like I spent like $2,000 and like I just have nothing to show for it. And I'm willing to, like you said, like do a boot camp or whatever. Like I know it won't get reimbursed, from my work, but like I'm like willing to spend the money to, do other, like I took a CRC review. I can't think of her. Right, her first name is Danielle. I can't.
That's okay. You don't have to say names.
Yeah.
That's all right.
And so I did that. You know, and I paid out of pocket. I paid extra for a study guide, and I really want to pass before the end of this year because I'm still using my 2024 book. But yeah, so that's why I'm literally joining, because it's just like I'm doing a Hail Mary here. Like,
yeah. And so you probably came because you thought Alicia was going to be doing her risk adjustment, but she'll do it soon. And if you do go to our YouTube channel, it's YouTube, and then it's just at CCO, very simple. If you do it not on a mobile device, but on a desktop, there's a little search, like, what do you call it? Magnifying glass.
Yeah.
And type in HCC, CRC. We've got tons of stuff in there. But for you, like, we do have a review blitz, and we have a new program now where you can like rent our courses and blitzes for $59 a month. So you shouldn't need more than a month to go through the CRC blitz.
So I actually asked you that question, I think last month, but I was like literally driving when.
Oh.
And you did a screenshot like of where to go, but it wasn't in the chat. So I was like, okay, I'll have to. I figured today I could ask you, like,
sure,
if you
yeah,
could, like, either put it in the chat and then like I could copy and paste it, because I really want to do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. This is a new pricing model that we're introducing for our 2026 pricing, because the feedback I get a lot is people, oh, I wish I found you. I spent all this money with ABC or, XYZ. And so, I figure this is a way that we could help people. It's $59. They could either, supplement with what they've already purchased, fill in the blanks, the gaps, get a different flavor, different type of instruction. So,
no, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, this is what I need. I need like a boot camp or something. Like I need, and my book is a mess. I like wrote so many notes in there, and it's just like so convoluted. I'm like, I don't even, like, when I'm taking the test, I'm like, I'm not even using my notes. Like, it's just crazy. Like, because I don't know. I don't have them like sectioned, and it's just a mess. So, I'm like, I need something to stick in here.
Yeah. Well, I just sent the link.
Perfect.
And also, if you're a club member or a student of ours, you get access to our Bat Cave. That's the bubble, highlight, annotate technique. It really was designed more for CPT, but we do have the ICD guidelines annotated. That was what one of our former instructors, Chandra Stevenson, had. She goes, I have BAT notes for ICD. I said, you do? She goes, well, not the whole manual, but the guidelines, because really that's the key, is understanding the guidelines. So that alone, I think you'll really enjoy. And we have some mind maps that help kind of visually help you learn some of the key guidelines with the diagnostic coding. So I highly recommend that. And maybe after I get to chat with some other people, I can go in and show you what the mind maps look like.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for joining. And just hang with us. And if you have questions or input, just feel free to jump in.
I will. Thank you.
Jamise, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing all right. Missing Alicia. Last minute, she's like, I'm sick. I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah. I was definitely looking forward to what she had to say about CRC.
Yeah. And probably what we'll do is next time I'll let her do this and bring people on, and then she can just do her spiel about, risk adjustment and all that. I know some, you can ask me some questions, but I don't have real world experience like she does. So, but I've listened to her talk about it over the years enough. But did you have a certain question that maybe I might know the answer to?
No, I'm just looking forward to trying to see where I need to start. Do I need? I had been interested in getting the blitz. So I just want to see if that's a good place to just start from with the blitz. I already have my CPC through, matter of fact, the blitz through you guys as well. But since
did you do like a course?
Yeah, I did y'all blitz course.
but not like a full course.
Not,
Like
not, yeah, no, not the full course. I actually went to school back in like 2013,
Mhm.
dropped it. I had my mother passed, so I kind of
I'm sorry.
refocused. In 2020, she passed. So right after that, I kind of heavily got into it, study, and sat down, and that's when I took y'all course to kind of refresh myself, and passed it with no problem at all. So now I'm like, I want another certificate. Where do I start at?
So you're going for your CRC.
Yes.
Okay. So the best thing when you get to the do the blitz and when you do the time practice exams, you'll know by the score if you need to go back and do a full course. Because some
Okay.
people are on the fence. They're like, well, I got my CPC. I already learned
Yeah.
ICD, although ICD is a smaller portion for that CPC exam, right?
Yeah.
But,
Oh, yeah.
but the time practice exams will tell you. I mean, I can't speak for AAPC's exams or other people's, but I know ours. And, we've been told many times that our exams are harder than the real exams. So if
Okay.
you're passing ours in a timed fashion, I can't stress that enough. You have to time yourself so you feel the pressure of what it's like on the real exam. Because you're not doing homework. You're not just answering it to see if you can get it right. You're now wanting to, it's like a typing test, right?
Yeah.
You could be super slow and get every letter right.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that's not going to be a very
It's the time.
useful
Yeah.
typist. So it's a balance between speed and accuracy. So by doing a timed practice exam, and you get to practice the timing strategies. Like in part of the Bat Cave, we have bonus videos on how to do process of elimination, POE. So key for multiple choice exams. The psychology of taking the exams is understanding they're not really trying to trick you.
Correct.
They are trying to give you challenging wrong answers. So,
And is this all ICD-10 when it comes to CRC?
no, the code set is ICD-10, but there's issues around what is HCC? What, how does it work? Because, in traditional outpatient coding, what drives reimbursement is procedure coding, CPT coding. But
That's what I focus on now at my job.
Yeah. But for inpatient coding and now risk adjustment coding for the outpatient world, what drives the reimbursement is the diagnoses.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what makes it very different. And it's very different for the outpatient world, but they're realizing that it actually is a cost savings. So a lot of insurance companies are liking that model. So if you have parents who are on Medicare, they have a choice, traditional Medicare or Advantage. The Advantage is what they will use the risk adjustment models for. So you, as a risk adjustment coder, are looking at, the diagnoses for either a 6-month period or a whole year. But you're not just doing one encounter, which is what we typically learn as we're doing medical coding. So you're looking at everything, and you're especially looking for those chronic diseases because that gets the physician, more money. So, but yeah, do those time practice exams. And if you're passing, great. You don't need the full course. But if you find that you're struggling with it, then, consider maybe doing the full course.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. And what the 10-year makes ICD-10? We heard that today through our supervisor. Is it 10 years? ICD-10s came out 10 years ago. Was it 10 years?
Oh, yeah, it's been about
10
that
years.
long.
Yeah. Okay. We were ICD-9 for
Yeah.
years, right?
That was when I was first coming in. It was like this big, looming thing. ICD-10's coming, ICD-10's coming. And it really scared people. A lot of people actually retired early because they didn't want to deal with
They didn't want to change over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll probably happen with ICD-11, but I like ICD-11. I've been learning a lot about it.
Really? Okay.
But it's very, very different. And it's kind of like multiple codes all in one line. And I don't think they'll ever have paper manuals again once they go to ICD-11 because the books would be too thick. It just would be. So everything's kind of going toward electronic anyways. So, but it could be years before they're even ready for it. But some countries are already using it successfully. My hope is, because right now with ICD-10, you know how we have the clinically modified
Yeah.
version.
Mm-hmm.
So there's, and this is for the newbie, since this is a newbie call, the code set for diagnoses comes from the International Classification of Diseases, ICD, which comes from the World Health Organization, WHO. And alone, that the codes will give you, main diseases. But what they often do in the United States, we have a clinically modified version. In Australia, they have the AM version. I think Canada has their own version. Some other countries use the US version, but it kind of takes away of the goal of it being an international way to classify diseases, because, a doctor in Spain will call a stroke by its name in Spanish, but in the United States, we call it a stroke or a cerebral vascular accident. But when you turn it into a code number, that is universal,
Oh,
language.
wow. Okay.
But when they start modifying it, well, then you've got segregation again. So I think with ICD-11, it's so robust and so detailed that I don't think there'll be any need to modify it further than the way it comes from the World Health Organization. So that's my hope. So we'll see what the future brings. But
well, I definitely appreciate all that information. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, great. Let's see. All right.
Pinellas.
Pinellas. I didn't want to butcher that. How are you, hon?
I'm doing good. Okay, I'm here for the how to break into medical coding.
Okay.
I just passed my COC back in July on my second try. Yeah, and so I'm an apprentice now. And the struggle is trying to get a job with the A on there. That's the biggest thing. And so I'm just trying to get more information. How can I get into that? Because as of right now, I just recently lost my job.
Oh.
So, yeah. And so I'm trying to.
Was it in coding or a different field?
I was doing follow-ups. See, I've been doing billing since 2018. And so I've been doing billing, done denials, follow-ups, and follow-ups that could be very stressful. But yeah, I am looking to get into medical coding, outpatient medical coding. Okay.
So let me talk a little bit about working your A off.
Okay.
So the apprentice thing, this is what, when they first came out with it, I was really not happy with it because, it's just a contrived thing that the AAPC did. Your resume tells the story if you are entry level, because that's really what apprentice means. You're entry level. But they did it because now you got to try and do things to, pay for more things to be able to get the A off. So what I tell everyone, don't worry about it. Most employers really don't care. And there are so many coding credentials out there now. All they want to know is, are you certified? Have you taken at least a basic course and know the difference between CPT and ICD and know how to use the index? Most employers understand that. So I would not even give that another thought about it. Now, if it really bothers you, then there's things you can do. You can do an internship. We have an internship. Many people will do lots of projects with us. They do those answer sheets you've probably seen us do on these calls. As long as it's, around coding, and after you work so many hours, I don't remember how many it is off the top of my head, but then we write a letter, and that helps to count as experience to remove that. But honestly, I would just put your resume out there and not even worry about that. Now, if they ask you, what is this A? You can say, oh, it just means I'm entry level, which is already clear because your resume is showing you've never had a coding position. So it already tells that it's no different. It really is no different. It's a mind thing they do to us. So I tell people not to worry about it. But if it bothers you, come be an intern with us.
Oh, okay. So do you have openings for internship at this moment?
Absolutely. Yeah. If I'll put the link in for that. We actually just onboarded 5 new ones. But this is our time of year where we're updating all of our question bank. Like right now, we're focusing on all of our tests that have to do with ICD-10 because the new codes started. What is it? What's today? The 2 days ago. So the new ICD-10 code set started October 1st. So we update our exams every year. So we vet them. We make sure any deleted codes, we have to reword the question, or sometimes just throw the question out completely, or, so we're vetting that. So there's lots of work with that. We have answer sheets that interns create, lots of fun projects. So, yeah, check that out. But it's all coding related, and you definitely learn. Sometimes it's reviewing a transcript from one of these webinars just to make sure it's accurate, because nowadays we use the auto transcription, and they always get the numbers wrong. Like if you say 250.00, it'll literally put OH for the OO. So just fixing things up like that.
And so because I know I'm a little rusty, because again, like I'm new to this, so I'll get the training that I need with the CPT and the ICD-10.
The training with us?
Yeah, or while doing the internship.
Oh yeah, I mean, the internship, you're supposed to be certified, right?
Okay.
And so what you're doing is you're getting to apply your knowledge now by reviewing these questions, making sure they're updated. We get questions that the interns will do the initial vetting and do an answer sheet and do research and use AI, go out on Google, use their coding manuals, and they'll pull together. It's kind of like a blog article in a way, but it's got more graphics. And that you learn by doing it. And then you have like Sylvia or Alicia or I were reviewing that and making sure it's accurate. And if not, we write back to you and say, check this paragraph here. This isn't accurate. See if you can figure out what's wrong with it. So you learn that way. That's how we try and do it. So, but I'm going to the website, and we have a contact page, and that's where they have the intern page. I'm going to link that in the chat. Now, as far as first jobs go, and this is, are you in the CCO Academy app yet with us?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
So if you join that, it's free. We did. I'm trying to. Maybe that was for. No, I'm sorry. It is free to join the Academy. Sorry, but we do have a student support call once a month. And just recently, we did a recording with someone who's working for Optum as a risk adjustment coder, and that was her first job. She did not have a CRC. She just had a regular coding credential. That is a really good first job, in my opinion. I don't know that it necessarily will be your long-term, full-time kind of job, because risk adjustment's kind of seasonal. They have a big push, once or twice a year, and they're looking for tons of coders, and then they do all the work, and then they lay a lot of people off, and they'll normally keep the highest producers. And so I've had some people say, I was let go, I didn't produce enough. I said, that's okay. You got coding experience. It's on your resume. You're just slower. Brand new typists, they type slower. But as you have practice, you'll get quicker and quicker. It's nothing to beat yourself up over. But you got that golden ticket. You got that first job. You can put it on your resume and, be able to go forward with that. So that might be something you might want to look at initially to get that first job, risk adjustment jobs, even though you might not have the credential yet. Don't be afraid. Just put yourself out there and see what sticks. And a lot of these programs like Optum, they have very good training. So, at the very least, you'll learn just from them for free. And I think they actually pay you as you're doing the training. So okay. I know there's other ones, but that's the one that I've heard most people, mention.
Okay. And then I wanted to ask you now, if we have any further questions, how can we contact you directly?
Go to cco.academy. I'm in there every day. Normally most evenings. I have a day job, so I pretty much around 4:00, I jump over into the CCO app and answer questions. Every student gets a private support room with me and the other coaches and our help desk staff. So they're on it. They are on the ball. So when someone has a question, and I think Timothy can attest to that, we're were there, were very supportive. So you can also call me. I normally am available in the evenings, and I do calls on Saturday morning. So I can give you the phone number. I should remember it by now, but I always have to double check. Okay, it is 866-611-9642, and I'm at extension 3. So I'm going to put that phone number in, 866-611-9642, extension 3.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you call me during the day, it'll, most likely go to voicemail unless it's on my lunch break. But definitely at 4 o'clock up until 8, I answer. And Saturday mornings. That's when we do our welcome calls and our student support calls. If you're like a full pay student, then you get phone support with us as well. Everyone gets a welcome call. But yeah, so check it out.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
What, Katerina?
What time zone are you?
I'm in Florida, Eastern.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in Connecticut.
Oh, okay. Another Easterner. How about you, Janice and Pinellas? Where are you guys from?
I'm Central.
I'm Georgia, Eastern.
Okay. Central. Very good. Hi, Dawn. You got to.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And how are you?
I'm well. Where are you from?
Phoenix.
Okay, another hot state.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what are you doing with coding? Are you new, or are you established, or?
Actually, I got my certification in professional billing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been wanting to get my certification in professional billing as well as professional coding. So I've been doing a lot of on YouTube coding classes, actually with you, and with my coding class when I was attending school, we had a video with you breaking down from the beginning of the ICD-10 book and how we coded from the introduction and going through that. And that was pretty good for me because that helped me code my ICD-10 book.
What school?
St. Louis College of Health Careers.
Oh, I don't know them. Okay.
So
what's your next credential? Are you certified yet, or are you working toward it?
That's what I'm working to become certified. So I've been looking at a lot of how to become a professional biller, and I actually ordered some. No, that's from what is their
AAPC?
Yes, them. I have ordered some of their little work that they be having on here also for my billing and coding. So I have a lot of information. I just need the direction on where to go to take the test, because I know it costs, but I need a lot of refresh to where
I wanted to ask you a question. What made you choose billing over coding? I know I heard you say you wanted to do both, but billing seems to be your lead.
Because when I first got my first job as working in the medical field, it was as a biller. I was billing for special need children from the age of birth to 5 years old. And that sparked my interest in billing.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people, like when I started, I had a therapy practice. I was an occupational therapist. That's what I went to school for. And we were billing Medicare. Well, then Medicare changed the way they allowed therapy practices to bill. And we mostly service nursing homes. So they wanted the nursing homes to bill them instead of the rehab agencies. So basically that put us out of business. So we decided to get into doing billing. So I had responded to an advertisement, do medical billing, and so I said, well, what about coding? Like, oh, you don't need to know coding. The doctor will give you the super bill. It's, a piece of paper, and he'll mark he or she will mark off what they did. And you just enter it into the system and you make sure you've got the demographics in there and the insurance, and you just submit it electronically. And I'm like, all right, we can do that. So I quickly learned.
Yes.
I got a couple clients. My first one was a Medicaid doctor, brand new, who was using a super bill from a job he worked at that wasn't a Medicaid practice. And so, there's certain codes that you use sometimes for Medicare or Medicaid that you don't use for commercial insurance. And so I billed what he put on the super bill, and it all came back denied.
And denied.
He's like, you don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, well, you're supposed to
do you.
He's like, that's what I hired you for. I'm like, well, shoot, I guess I need to learn coding. So I tried to find a coding course where I was in New Jersey at the time, and there was none. And then I found out that this woman from Virginia Beach was coming to New Jersey to teach like a boot camp kind of thing. So that was my introduction to coding. Now I knew codes for rehab, but there's like 6. It was like basically OT eval, OT reeval, PT eval, PT reeval. And, maybe some of the modalities, if they did hot packs or whatever, it was very minimal and very easy as far as the procedures go. So I'm in this class with like maybe 5 other people, and we're in a hotel, and the teacher, it was hard to tell when she was actually teaching and when she was just kind of chit-chatting, like you'd go on a break and you'd come back, like, have we started? And they were all talking about the new Rice Krispie M&Ms. Remember when they came out? And then she starts to teach about E&M, evaluation and management. And my brain's still thinking Rice Krispie M&Ms. And I'm like, why'd they name it E&M? And she looked at me, she goes, evaluation. And management. So, and the other 5 girls just turned and looked at me like, she's not going to pass, because I was so green and my world was so narrow with the rehab world. And she was coming back in a month to proctor the exam. So I procrastinated. I didn't do anything for 2 weeks. Then I had 2 weeks before the exam. I said, all right, how can I tackle this? And I'm like, everyone says I should be an engineer because that's the way my brain thinks. Like, what's the pain point? How can I solve it? And so the pain point was I had 2 weeks to prepare. I'm not going to do that big textbook. I'm going to do the little skinny study guide. And I'm like, okay, it's an open book exam. I can have my manuals and nothing else. So I started to read the study guide, and I noticed that they were just basically discussing it by the grouping of the codes. I said, oh, these are the guidelines. So sometimes the guidelines were 3 or 4 pages before where the codes actually lived. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have multiple choice, because in the study guide, they had practice questions and I could see how they did it. And I'm going to turn to where the codes are. I'm not even going to use the index. You're going to go to the codes on a multiple choice exam. And I'm like, okay, I got to compare and contrast and know the difference in their testing and guidelines. So I started to write the key words about the guidelines I read in the study guide in my manual. And this is how the BAT system was born. This was back in 1999. And I passed. And 2 weeks of preparing, just using the study guide and transferring those notes to my manual. And it made me realize how important it was to become one with your manual, like really understand it and feel super comfortable with it. Because a lot of times it's kind of like a telephone book, right? You go to the index, you look up a code, you go turn to it, that's the number, done, shut it. But when you really start to see the flow of how it's arranged, it helps you to do that process of elimination. So at any rate, that's, how it worked out for me. I realized coding was very important to billing. And then, when you look at the salary surveys, it does seem that the medical coders get paid more than billers. Unless, of course, you have a billing business of your own. But obviously if you're a biller and a coder and you're doing both, well, then you're even more, valuable. So, so keep that in mind. So your question was, what do you do to get there, right? To get to that billing certification?
I have not had any luck as far as obtaining a job with billing.
And
None.
and you have experience in it.
I have experience in it. Yeah, I have. I also have the billing experience on the dental side as well.
Oh.
So for 5 years, I did claims billings for the Blue Cross Blue Shield for on their dental side. So I have. It's just the medical billing part that, you know, I don't have that experience, good experience, you know, long-term experience for, because I worked 3 years at the other one where we were just doing the speech therapy and the physical therapy and the occupation. Those were
That's my world. Yeah.
Those were all the service codes that we use for that billing. And then for when I went for work for Blue Cross Blue Shield, and that was just on the dental side. But I just, for some reason, I cannot get a billing job.
Where are you applying? Like, are you using what kind of website to look for jobs, local papers? What's your strategy?
I use Indeed. I go out on Indeed, and I go out on Career Builders and Monster.com.
Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with the monster.com. Have you tried like billing companies versus just billing for maybe a physician's practice or whatever? So you might want to do a search on billing companies in your area and then start to expand. And, you know, there might be remote positions. The other reason why I find coding sometimes is the easier career to get into first is there seems to be more of an openness to remote workers. When I was doing this back in 1999, that wasn't always the case. Normally, they wanted you to work for them face to face for a couple of years before they felt they could trust you and let you work from home. But now, especially after, you know, COVID, you know, they realized, hey, we actually save money by letting people work from home. Especially risk adjustment is very open to the remote workforce. So maybe look at coding jobs and see if you could get an entry-level coding job, even without a credential, because you do have the billing experience. You never know. Just keep putting it out there. You know, submitting your resume is free. You know, I think they haven't changed that. I hope. Yeah. But in the meantime, you might want to maybe switch tactics and go for coding, and then, you know, promote yourself as someone with a coding certificate and billing experience, because they know you've touched codes, you've dealt with codes, even though you might not have been an official coder. You have to enter them in the system. You have to know the difference between the code sets and all of that. So you might want to try that.
Thanks.
Did you call me a couple Saturdays ago? Was that you I spoke to?
Dawn Cole?
No. What you're saying to me sounds very familiar with someone I spoke to a couple weeks ago. That was the same thing. They had billing experience. They were going for the billing and the coding credentials. So I said, but your name didn't sound familiar. So, you know, I'm older now. I'm 61. So, you know, my memory's not what it used to be.
Well, thank you for that information. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you coming on. But join us over at CCO.Academy. Continue to ask questions there, as specific as you want. The other great thing we have for our premium members, which is basically a student or a club member. Club membership is as cheap as $25 a month, or you could be a student for $59 a month. Just pick whichever course you want, and you get access to our Cody bot. That's our premium AI bot that's trained on all the content from the Academy, the billing courses, the coding courses, risk adjustment, ICD, and also all of the topics that we've covered in these webinars are in there. And so you can ask any question, and the Cody bot will search all of the stuff it's been trained on and give you, you know, a response. Even if you haven't purchased that particular course or product, you'll still get the summary that the bot was able to pull out for you. So that's definitely worth it. I think that I've spoken to everybody. What I was going to do is maybe take a moment to show you some of the resources there and the mind maps that applies basically to every credential, because you do need to know diagnostic coding, whether it's for CPC, risk adjustment, etc. So let's see here. Let's see if this works. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to share a different tab. And the URL is www.cco.academy. This is our new website we launched July 4th. It's an app. We wanted to have a new way to provide mobile access to the courses and to us as the coaches and the help desk staff. So it's very fluid. It's very easy to use. We're getting lots of positive feedback on it. This is the view I like. This is the dark view, but I'm going to switch it to the light view because I understand that shows up better on video. So right here, switch to light mode. Ooh, it's like a light bulb for me when I change it. So the way it works is very similar to most of your social media stuff. You have a stream, and whatever you're a member of goes into your main stream. So right now we're in this feed. So everything I'm a member of is showing here in the middle. But if I want to go right to, let's see, the Bat Cave, and I'm going to go to the mind map decision trees, now it's just filtering that view just on that content. So if you're a club member or a student, you get access to everything in the Bat Cave. So the way we did this, let's see this one, coding sepsis. Hopefully this will open for me. The mind map we used is called MindMeister, and it is actually, the server is in Germany. So sometimes it takes a hot minute for it to come up. It's still loading for me here. There we go. Can you, yeah, you can see that. Okay. So the way, this is something I did for myself. I'm a very visual learner. So I wanted to take the guidelines, which was just like lots of text, and I felt like Charlie Brown's teacher, wah, 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 you know, and I'm just trying to make sense of it. So what I did for this one, and I'm going back, this was done years ago, but the interns help update these mind maps every year. So I started with the definition, because when you're dealing with sepsis, that's a, you know, systemic infection, right? You're going to come across terms like SIRS, systemic inflammatory response. Is this big enough? I can make it a little bigger. That's a little better. Yeah? Is that good? I'm not used to having an audience where I can actually talk to people. And it says it's defined as the presence of 2 or more of the following 4 symptoms. And you'll see there's this little plus sign, so I can expand it. And it just gets like branches on a tree, more and more detailed. And I encourage people, there's lots of free mind map tools out there. Just, you know, search it up and use it whenever you're trying to learn a new concept. Try and put it in a mind map. You don't even have to keep it or use it later. Just the act of doing it helps you retain information. You can do it on paper. Just draw a circle, put the main topic in the middle, and start drawing spokes off of it. Maybe use a pencil if you want to erase. I am a digital girl, so I like, you know, having things like this. But I've used mind map forever, and I got all my kids when they're doing homeschool using it, and now they're all, you know, 17 and up. So, so here it says it was defined as the presence of 2 or more of the following. Now, this is all taken from the guidelines, okay? So a body temperature alteration, which is defined as a fever more than 100.4 degrees, or hypothermia, which is a body temperature less than 96.8. Bullet number 2 is tachycardia, heart rate of more than 90 beats per minute. Tachypnea, which, you know, this is my thing when I teach medical terminology. Tacky versus Brady. So I say tacky women are fast and the Brady bunch were slow. So you have to do those little, you know, weird mind games just to remember things. So tachycardia, heart rate of more than 90 beats. So it's very fast heartbeat. And this one is respiration that's fast, 20 breaths per minute. Or CO2, PaCO2 less than 32 millimeters. So millimeters, yeah. And then the fourth bullet is abnormal white cell count. So leukocytosis or leukopenia. So this is how you define SIRS. Now, it doesn't mean we as coders can say, oh, yep, they got 4 of these things, so I'm going to give them the code for SIRS. We still need the physician to document that they have it. But this is how it's defined. And another definition, so that's SIRS. What is sepsis? Sepsis is SIRS plus an infection. That's the definition of sepsis. Then what is severe sepsis? It's regular sepsis plus associated organ dysfunction. And then septic shock is sepsis plus circulatory failure. So you see how kind of making a mind map can really start to clear up all these terms, and you can see how they relate to each other. I've had some people ask, well, can I copy this? And, I said, yeah, by starting your own mind map and typing it in the middle, and you start making the spokes, because that's how you learn. Just like bubbling and highlighting your CPT manual. I could do it for you, but you're not going to become one with your manual unless you do it. So keep that in mind. So those are the definitions. And sometimes you'll have these little extra notes. And this says the Cleveland Clinic provides a number of references to assist in understanding the disease process for sepsis. So it's a little hyperlink here that will take you there, and you can go learn even more. This just lets us know the last time we updated this. So it was in June. And now we start talking about the guidelines. So urosepsis, what do the guidelines have to say about urosepsis? Query the provider for clarification. So if you see that documented, that's what we want to do. And I actually give you the guideline reference. So it's in section Roman numeral 1, paragraph C, point 1, point D, point 1, point A, point II. Wow. But it helps you get to that exact guideline so you can see it with your own eyes. And, we highly recommend that you do that. You want to visualize it. You want to see it. You want to go turn to the codes in the manual so you really make it come to life for you. Maybe jot some notes down where the actual sepsis codes live to remind yourself of some of these things you learn in the mind map. But you get the idea of how it works. So this is a really nice tool. A lot of people really like this. Let me go back to the Academy. And now I'm going to show you the ICD BAT files. And what I want to show you is the guidelines. So here's the 2026 annotated guidelines that were just finished recently. So you'll come in here and it says, let me make this a little bigger. And this has been put in like a course format, even though it's not really a course. But most of our courses will show you the content here. The green check marks means you've completed it. So it's kind of motivational. That's one of the things you really like about the app. Below are the 2026 ICD-10-CM annotated guidelines. This is the file from the CDC, so it's public domain, but we've added our annotations for reference. And you can download and print it. Don't share it with non-CCO members. Instead, encourage them to join. You'll have to determine whether or not you can bring the guidelines to your respective exams. We always say, go straight to the horse's mouth. If you're testing with AAPC, send an email. I think it's exams@aapc.com. I don't know if they've changed that, but that's what I've always given out in the past. Get it in writing, what they tell you. I don't have ICD guidelines in my manual. Can I print them out from the web and bring them with me? And if they say yes, you're good. So otherwise, you might need to find a manual where sometimes they have them already in there. I think a lot of publishers have gotten away with that because the guidelines sometimes change during the year. But at any rate, that's what all of this is about. So let me show you what that looks like. Here it is. No, it's not it. Where is it? Oh, here was the note. It is allowed for the in-person exam only. So if you're going to be testing at home with the AAPC, you know how they allow that, then I guess it isn't allowed. But again, check with them because, things change all the time. And there's a link here for the proctor instructions, the last that we were finding it. Here it is. That's what I'm looking for.
Do you know how long the exams are? I know when I took mine back in 2020, it was 4 hours and 50 minutes. And I know since then, I've been hearing that they cut it down. So is it only like 4 hours now with 150 questions still? Or is that just
For which one?
Well, and that's what I was supposed to say. Is it just for specific credentials? Say if I'm now trying to get my CRC.
Okay. Let me see how.
I'm just curious. I don't want you to do no extra work. I could have looked it up. I'm just curious because I was like, I mean, and don't, and like I said, yeah, okay. Like I was saying, I know that I had heard right after I took my exam that they had definitely chopped it down to less than 4 hours and 50 minutes. I think it might have been like 125
questions. 3.5 hours or 210 minutes for the CRC. And it's 175 multiple choice questions, of which 150 are scored and 25 are unscored pretest items. So you don't know which questions count. So 25 of them, they won't even be used in your score, is what they're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
But you will be answering 175 questions in 210 minutes. So that's where I tell you to do the math for those timed practice exams. How many minutes does that work out to per question? So now if you're doing a 50 question mock exam or mini exam, right? Practice exam, now you know how many minutes to give yourself. So you can have that same pacing that you would want to do on the real exam. You're just going to have more questions on the real exam.
Yeah, that seems like it's more than the CPC exam that I took years ago. Maybe because they don't have as, like the CPC exam have like such big paragraphs or op notes. Let me just rephrase that, op notes.
Yeah.
So on the CRC, it's not going to be op notes. It's just going to be basically out of the ICD-10.
Yeah, theory kind of questions.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
They'll have ICD-10 questions for sure, but a lot of it is just around the theory.
Okay. All right, thanks.
So this is just a printout that anyone can get on the internet of the ICD guidelines. But so what we start doing is we start emphasizing what are key areas. Of course, the introduction isn't really. But you can see like, oh my God, you start looking at all these guidelines. You're like, I got to know all this. Oh my goodness. And you just get, overwhelmed. But now you just start taking it section by section. And so the first thing it's going to talk about is the alpha index and the tabular list. Then it's going to talk about the format and structure. So you read that. It starts off nice and gentle, right? Placeholder character. Talks about the X is being used as a placeholder. And you might have a general multiple choice question about some of these things. A majority of what you're going to be tested on, whether it's the CPC, the CRC, is that you understand your guidelines and how to interpret them. And abbreviations, I'm going to just show you some more. So what we have here in blue, these are notes that we added. So let's say you do have the guidelines printed in your manual. You would want to transfer these notes to your guidelines in your manual or highlight the way we have. And just think about it as you're doing it. Don't just highlight to highlight, but why did we highlight that? Why is that important? Make sure you understand what the paragraph is, telling you. Excludes notes. What's it mean? Not coded here. So our note here is one or the other, but not both. That's a concept that some people, might miss. But I just wanted to show you, like, this is what you get as part of the Bat Cave and all these little notes squeezed in here. And you can just see it's very, very thorough.
So this, what you're showing us now, we can actually print out, because years ago when we printed it out, we still had to write it in. So you guys already have it wrote in for us?
Yes, but you have to make sure, like I said, don't rely on us saying you can bring it to the exam. You have to get that confirmation for yourself, because, and you know, I mean, this isn't to scare anyone, but sometimes you get proctors, you know, that are more sticklers than others. Like if you go to a testing center, they might, because they're not coders. It's a testing center. They test on all sorts of things. So they, you know, they might flip through your book to make sure there's no loose papers. They know to do that.
Oh yeah,
You know?
definitely.
So
When I brought this in years ago, my proctor looked all through it. I'm not really sure why, but yeah, they looked all through it and had to literally go through AAPC guidelines just to make sure I can bring it in. So I definitely know what you're talking about. But I was just wondering, with this is already already marked up for us. So that's awesome.
yeah, very good. Let me see. Did I miss? I'm just checking the chat. Stacy says, I love the new app. Thank you, Stacy. Guidelines are hard to find and read. Printing them works best for me. Okay, good. Manel said it's 4 hours, 150 questions. I think maybe they're thinking CPC though. Could you please share the link? Shannon, I don't know which link I'm supposed to be sharing. Remind me. When taking the CPC or CPB, are current ICD-10 books required? I think they give you a grace of 1 year older, but CCO's advice is always use current year manuals for your psychology, because if you have a 2025 manual and you go and take the exam in January, your mind's going to play tricks on you. It's going to say, oh man, what if this is a new code change? And you start to doubt yourself, unless you looked at what all the new codes are and you wrote them in your older manual in the margin. You know, you could do that, but especially for ICD, for the most part, we don't do a lot of marking up in our ICD manual like CPT. So, but for CPT, definitely I would insist that you have current year. So if you haven't taken your certification exam and you're still going to take it this calendar year, 2025, you know, do it before December 31st. So let me see. I'm going to take this off the screen. And is it Manali? Manal? I don't think we heard from you, did we? Feel free to take your mic off mute if you want to say hello or ask a question. In the meantime, did we have any other questions I could answer, or did this new stuff maybe stimulate new questions?
I do have another question about Practical. Now, I am set up with Practical. It came with my program. One thing I discovered with Practical is very hard, especially when you ain't have human interaction. So I wonder, do you think that's the same way with you? I mean, do you feel the same way?
Well, I'm very familiar with Practicode when it was first came out. The company that created it was called, I think it was a Via Code. They were a auditing firm, so they had access to all these records, and they created a product where people could practice, because they did it for their own in-house auditors, because someone would be really good at maybe general coding, but now they were getting a lot of clients that were cardiology, and so they wanted to get their people up to speed. So they created like this data bank of cardiology notes for them to code, and that's how it was born. And we used to resell it and used to go to the AAPC conferences and have a booth and help promote it. And then the AAPC bought it. And then they told us we couldn't do it anymore. So, but what we did when we were working with the VIA code, one of the things that we noticed is that their rationales were horrible and many of the answers were incorrect. So we were regularly telling them, fix this, update this, so they kind of lost that benefit when we were no longer, able to be, resellers. I don't know how good it is currently. I know on Reddit, there's not a lot of good reviews on it, but practice is practice, right? It's more, like you said, if there's not good support and you're questioning an answer, then you're always left like wondering, is this right? So I will tell you though, if in the academy, if you have questions on real life cases, any kind of cases, we tell you, go ahead and paste them, obviously redacted, no patient info, no facility info, and just say, but this is the thing, we don't want to do your coding for you. We want you to tell us what you think the codes are. And maybe you might say, my provider says it's this, I think it's that. What do you guys say? Can you help, be a tiebreaker? And then we weigh in and we all learn and we get to code a report, so you're welcome to do that. If there's one that's really stumbling you, go ahead and, paste it and we'll weigh in on it. And other people will, the community will. It's not just, the coaches, but we have a very helpful community. And our interns, part of what they do is they respond to people in the academy. They go and do research. And of course, we're vetting everything and checking everything too. So did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Yeah, because I'm just like, because I started doing practical, I'm just like, in order for you to even, I know that's part of the program that you can get the A dropped off, but it's like 600 cases and you got to pass with a 70% or higher.
Yeah.
And so, and it's sad that there's no human interaction when I mess up or anything, or somebody can reach out to immediately.
They don't have anything? They just say, just code it and don't bother?
They do give rationales, but then I don't be understanding the rationales. And so I'll be like, okay, can I talk to somebody? But you can't really talk to nobody on the phone unless I send an email. And then sometimes it might take them about a week before they get back with me.
Well, like I said, come to cco.academy and just post a question on it. You don't have to copy and paste a report, but just say, I was coding a report on, I don't know, XYZ situation. And I'm thinking these are the correct codes, but I was confused by the rationale. Just tell us the story and we'll help you, because everyone learns from it. And every time we answer questions in the academy now, it's training our bot. So we all are better for it, that, we get to use the Cody bot, and every answer we do, everything we research, it's not just, gone and lost and buried because it was from a year ago. It all gets retained and gets to be pulled up the next time someone has a similar question.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Hi, Manal. Am I saying your name right?
Yes, it's Manali.
Manali. How are you?
I need to say thank you so much to you and Alicia and all the staff, because I took the Blitz for the CPC course and I did like the BET, like in my books for the CPT books, and I passed on the first try, and I could not make it without the CCO, like watching like the videos. It's so nice because you can be driving on the car and like having the lessons and watching. And it's great because you can watch like over and over, and having the books like all like prep, like all the notes on it. Like it was so easy. Like when I was reading, I did not even have to finish reading like the whole, like I read the question, I was just able to look in the book and know which answer was right. So I want to just say thank you so much. Like I did the CPB and the CPC, and I passed like on the first try both of them.
Awesome.
And it was thank you to all of you, like the CCO was thank you to all like your help and answering the questions. Like I will ask, and you're so quick like in answering the questions. Every time like I have a question, I will post on CCO, and like in less than 24 hours, some staff will answer, or like someone like another member will answer. So it was like a blessing have you all guys like helping in the whole way. Like it was, I appreciate that.
That's
issue
really important to us is the support that we give.
Yeah, and the issue that I have now that I'm working is just like the modifiers.
Okay.
Because and like for example, I do the lab like billing, like the billing for the lab. So sometimes like if we have like a QW and then we have to add like the 59, like, and then it's a lot of like, I was okay, which one goes first? Like the sequencing, like is the QW or the 59? And then they always tell you like the payment one comes first.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I'm coding it.
If it affects money, put it first. Do you have our modifier grid?
Yes, I do. I use it like I have it like on my desk, and it's wonderful. Yes, help a lot.
So for those who might not know, if you go to cco.us, you'll see where it says hot, and in there we have freebies. And one of the things you can get for free is a modifier grid that I came up with, I think it was back in 2000. And when I was teaching modifiers, this is Appendix A in CPT, I realized like teaching it in numerical order didn't really make sense. And I started to see the patterns. Oh, all of these modifiers kind of have to do with bundling issues. And these modifiers are just E&M only modifiers. So we would teach it by the family of the modifier. So check that out. It's free, cco.us, and go to where it says freebies. And you can get that. I'm going to be redoing that lecture in the next couple of months. So look for information on that. When you're at the website, join our newsletter if you're not already a CCO insider. And that's when we launch these little mini webinars that you can join.
Lorraine, which advice do you give like to a biller and a coder? For example, we have changes all the time and like so many like payers. And for example, one payer will pay one test for like a specific diagnosis code, and another payer will not, like Medicare will not pay that diagnosis code. And for example, in my system, like we have like so many payers, how can like a coder, how can we know like how like keep updated? Okay, this payer will not pay, for example, he will not pay like a screening, you do not pay like if you use specific codes. What can I do to help me?
What's your billing system?
We use Epic.
Okay. Yeah. So you might want to ask the Epic folks if there's a way to have it like alert you when you're dealing with a different payer that they handle things differently. But at least start with looking at your top 3 payers for that particular procedure, and at least learn what those top 3 payers require, how they want it. For example, some payers want you to use modifier 50, the bilateral modifier. Some of them say, no, we want you to use 2 lines, one with RT, the next one with LT. Like, so they have these little nuances that you kind of have to figure out. Of course, when they send it back to you and don't pay it, then you figure it out and you correct it and you rebill it. But I would at least start with that, your top 3 payers, and then, add maybe the 4th top payer. And that should take care of a majority of it. But see if your Epic system will allow alerts based on code to say, no, with this insurance, United Healthcare, you need to do it this way. I know some of them have that ability. And I think Epic does.
Yeah, we do for Medicare only. We'll show only for Medicare.
Yeah.
But I will check to see if we can add other ones.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So I want to ask you though, what is your advice to say someone like Katarina, who is, preparing for taking the CRC exam again? What did you find was the most helpful to prepare you for that style of exam, the multiple choice timed thing that could help her?
You can't, like, you're gonna run out of time if you need to read the question very quick, and you need to know like the books where to find like the answers. And if you have, like, for example, all my CPT, like the CPT book, I have the BET on it, so I have all the notes on it. So you need to be just fast. You need to be very quick. And if you don't know, like, you look at it, you don't know, just flag it and go to the next question, and then you can go back. Because if you spend too much time, then you're going to run out of the time, and you're going to have to guess a lot of questions at the end.
Yeah, that's a good one. And we cover that in that bonus area in the Bat Cave, how to take the exam, the process of elimination, and how to do it quickly and move on. Like if you've eliminated, A and C, and now you're looking at B and D, and there's multiple codes in each answer, and you figured out one of the codes is wrong in answer D, you're done. You circle B and you move on to the next question. You don't have to look up every single code.
Yeah, but the notes on the book help so much because, for example, you like we have like ultrasound, MRI, like some, like you just looking at the question and the answer, it was so easy to know which one was the right one.
Yes. And that is the adding those little key notes in each grouping or bubble is what I like to call it. And, that has become industry standard now. That little method that I used for myself, all teachers are using this now. I just ask that they please give me attribution. Some of them claim that they created it when they didn't. I've been doing it since 1999. They just give it a different name. But yeah, it's a very simple technique. Bubble, highlight, annotate, make those notes. Because what you're doing is you're saying, oh, this answer lives in this bubble, this one's in that bubble. What's the difference between the two bubbles? And that helps you go back and reread the question and extract what you need. If two of the answers are in the same bubble, well, now you're looking at the indented codes. What's the difference between the indented codes? Is it a measurement? Is it size? Is it location? And you'll be able to see that. And a lot of times, I tell students, I said, you're not allowed to read the question until you look up the answers. And that is so counterintuitive. But if you look up the answers, you could almost throw out 2 of the 4 without even looking at the scenario that they're giving you, because there's some things like maybe one is modifier 51 exempt or whatever. And you see one of the answers has that modifier with it. No, that one's wrong. You don't even have to look up anything else. So and then when you're looking up the difference between the answers, now you know what you're abstracting for. Now you go read the scenario. And as you're reading it, oh, I need to know that. Yep, that's this one. Oh, cross it off. And you'll get through the questions much quicker. Now, is that like real world coding? No, we don't have multiple choice answers to choose from, but we sort of do. We just use the index to give us choices, maybe a range of codes, maybe 2 or 3 to look up. We look them up, and what are we doing? We're comparing and contrasting them. And then we go back and say, which one fits my situation better? We read the note a little bit deeper or more detailed and hone in on that to get the right code. So it does simulate real world coding. It's a little different. At least one of them is going to be right. So that's good advice. Thank you.
They made a comment that they are thinking about changing and adding some, not just all multiple questions, like you have to fill in the blank. Do you know when they're going to start doing that?
I don't know. I doubt they really will, because it is so difficult to do fill in the blank. Now, AHIMA's done it for a long time. They do fill in the blank, but they kind of end up grading on a curve in a way. Because I took the CCS, the CCSP. I think there was one other AHIMA one I did. And I had tons of AAPC credentials, but I let them all go because they made me mad. But I know you all are going for it, and I definitely know all about them. But for me, what I do, I don't need them anymore. I support the QPro credentials, but they're not as big as AAPC. It's Coke, Pepsi, RC Cola. Q Pro is like RC Cola, but it's still a viable coding credential. And most employers, they just want to know you're certified, that you're not just someone off the street. Hey, teach me coding, that you have some familiarity with it. And they know you're going to need to learn a lot on the job. So.
And Lauren, how about ICD 11? Do we know when it's going to be, like when they're going to start implementing ICD 11?
I haven't heard anything like it's around the corner, but people are working on it. We're going to start rolling out some trainings on that. Alicia and I are working on a new CDI course that we want to offer, clinical documentation. So, there's lots coming out. I think in my estimate it will be at least 2 years, so we have time, but you can start studying it and looking into it. The best place to go to is go right to the World Health Organization website for ICD-11. They've got some really good training, and they've got the tool right there, how you look up the codes and just try it, and find a code is gonna, have their crosswalks and all that kind of stuff. But you can just search right now, say, if ICD-10's code for diabetes mellitus, blah, 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 is this, what would the equivalent be in ICD-11? And just start to see the differences, because you can ask your AI, you can Google it, and, it might not be 100% accurate, but it'll be close enough for you to see the difference. And it's very, very different. So.
Hey, Lauren, quick question. You said something about CDI. Do y'all give a CDI program on here?
We're developing it now.
Oh, okay, because that is my next step afterwards.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually just created a, what do we call it? Early interest. I don't know, you can get on our email list. So as soon as it's ready, you'll be the first ones to know, and you'll get the deepest discount because you were on our waiting list. So let me see if I can find that.
Oh, yeah. I'm interested in that. That's would definitely be a step up in my job that I'm.
And it's related a lot to the diagnostic codes and querying the physician and all that stuff. Let's see, what am I asking? Let's see. I really appreciate all of you so much coming on. You've just made this, I think this might be a new thing that we'll do. Let's see. It's funny, I asked my AI what we have on the CCO website. It's so much easier than me trying to remember. But it's a brand new URL. So, you know what I'll do? I'll put it in the CCO Academy. So if you can go check there later tonight or tomorrow, I'll have it in the free community area.
Okay.
We want to, let people know to start signing up for it. I think there might have been one little glitch with the form that we were trying to iron out with our IT guy, but just know that it's coming, and you can get on that early interest list. So.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, I'm just checking emails. I'm telling you, I got to get glasses. I keep fighting it. Well, very good. Any last minute questions before we say our goodbyes? All right. Well, we'll do the next podcast next month. And let me just bring up the slides really quick here. Doobie-doobie-doo. So this was just to remind folks, if you want to join the club, and we have that on sale right now, it's $199 instead of $249. Big savings, less than $17 a month. It works out. Or you can do the monthly, $24.99. That's the sale price. Oh, we're not doing that yet. Oh, here it is. Huh. Should have come to the slides. Clinical documentation improvement course coming soon. Thank you, Mary, for this link. Let me grab that. All right, I'm going to put that in the chat. CDI early interest list. There you go. And it looks like this. You just put in your name, email, and all that good stuff. And then you'll be on that early interest list with us. This was just a reminder to check us out at CCO. It's actually just CCO. So it's youtube.com/@CCO. That's it. Very simple. This is what I wanted to show you. So the intern program's open again. I put the link out there. Today is the first Thursday, and that's why we're doing this podcast. Next week will be our community Q&A. And we normally do 2 or 3 questions that have been asked by the community. And then the last Thursday is the club webinar. That's normally like a singular topic that we go into a little bit more detail. The club one is always put in to get a CEU from the AAPC after we've done it, because we have to create CEU questions for that. So when you're in the club, you go in and you can watch the replay and then you take the quiz. If you attended live, you just go right to the quiz and you pass the quiz. You get your certificate with your name printed out and the index number that you use for your CEUs. Occasionally, we will also put the Q&A one in for CEUs. But not always. It depends. AAPC charges $330 for each CEU. It's ridiculous. So as our community grows and we get more club members, then we'll be able to provide even more CEUs. So tell your friends, tell them to join the club, and you'll have lots of CEUs to choose from. And then the Thursday in between, the third Thursday, is when we do our Zoom call for our students and club members. It's not broadcast. It's just internal to the academy. So that's that one. We do have an affiliate program. If you do have a following in this billing and coding world, reach out to me and we can get you into our affiliate program. You can refer people for a percentage. And this was all about our academy, which I showed you a little bit of it today, how it works. And this was what kind of spawned our new pricing, where I say it's either rent or buy. So you can, either do the full course for PBC for little less than $1,500, and you get the full course, you get the phone support, you get the blitz, you get practice exams, and you get lifetime access now. Or you can rent. You can pay $59 a month, do it as quick as you're able to, and you could be done in 4 months, and it saves you a lot of money. You don't get all the other bells and whistles, but you can add them on. You can do the blitz separate when you're ready. You can do practice exams separate when you're ready. And you get the tech support from us, and you get the welcome call. So, but that's a really nice supplement, is to do that $59. If you're already locked into a course, you can't get your money back, and you're having kind of regret, you can supplement it with our stuff. I mean, we would wish that you'd come to us for the full course, but we know sometimes we don't get to you first. So this is a way that we can help you. We are very good at support compared to what we hear out there from other schools. And so you can schedule a call with me, and I'll help you to get back on track, give you direction. I don't mind doing it. I have a call schedule. It's normally evenings and Saturday mornings. So you go to cco.us/Lorene-call, and you can get on my schedule. And this is the URL if you want to put a topic in. Maybe you have an op report that you've redacted that you cannot understand why the provider thinks it should be coded a certain way. Put that in, and we'll do a webinar on it. You give us the content. And then it goes into the academy, and the Cody bot slurps it up, and you never know, it'll turn up maybe 6 months from now. Oh yeah, I remember they presented on that. So that's what I love about the Cody bot. All the gems that are hidden in there get brought to the surface again with very minimal effort on our part now to find it. So, and congratulations to Michelle Staley, who passed her CPC. So those are the slides I wanted to share, since the team prepared it. So thank you for your attention, and you know where to find us, cco.academy. We're very responsive, and we'd love to see you there and tell your friends. All right.
Thank
Goodbye,
you very
everyone.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Laureen, did you say you wanted me to stay on? Or no?
Well, no, I showed the mind map thing. That's
Okay,
what I wanted to show you.
Okay, because I went on and I signed on, like I, entered a username and password and stuff with that.
Hold on one second. I'm going to end the broadcast, but you and I can stay in the room. So hang on.
Okay.
Goodbye, everyone.
Looking for medical coding, medical billing, and risk adjustment education? Learn more at cco.us.